Metro Nashville Network, and that will be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just as a little inside baseball for folks who might be viewing from the gallery, Metro is testing out our Spanish translations. So thanks to C Chair Jenny Welsh, who kind of worked on that. And so we're going to start testing out that technology, and we'll see if I sound more, appear to be more credible or legible in Spanish than I am in English. But again, this is Monday, August the 15th. It is 4 p.m. This is our Planning and Zoning Committee, and I will take a quick run through the roll. I'm present. Councilmember Bradford is present. Councilmember Gamble is present. I don't yet see Councilmember Hager, Hall, or Murphy. Councilmember O'Connell is present. I don't see Councilmember Parker. Vice Chair Rutherford is present. Councilmember Sepulveda, Van Rees, and Welsh, all three are present. So we do have a quorum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have a quorum. For our agenda today, lots of things are on consent, but I do have a few things that are off of consent. Number 2, which is Ordinance Bill 2022-1344. This amends Title V of the Metro Code to establish a development impact fee. We've received a letter from the sponsor, Councilmember Hall, to withdraw that item, so I won't take a vote on that one. We do have item number 3 by Councilmember Syracuse, which pertains to abatement of property taxes for historic properties. That one has an amendment, so that we'll have to take that amendment separately. For bills on third reading, item number 10, Ordinance Bill 2022-1270. The sponsors, Councilmember Pulley. That is for setbacks in residential areas. That one has an amendment which we'll take up. And I believe that everything else is on our consent agenda. So I will run through those captions really quickly, and hopefully we can get through those and then move on to things that do require discussion. So these would be resolutions. Item number 1, Resolution RS 2022-1723. The sponsors are Council Members O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Authorizes LMC Town Property Owner LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 808 Garfield Street. Item number 4, Ordinance Bill 2022-1388. The sponsors are Councilmembers Toombs, Withers, and Young. This amends the Metro maps by abandoning a portion of alley number 1089 for the right-of-way between Haney Avenue and Woodfolk Avenue. Item number 5, Ordinance Bill 20. I think that's a typo. That's 2022-1389. The sponsors are Councilmembers Toombs, Withers, and Young. Authorizes Metro government to accept and adjust sanitary sewer manholes for property located at 1406 Brick Church Pike, also known as the Brick Church Auto Dealership. Item number 6, Ordinance Bill 2022-1390. The sponsors are Councilmembers Taylor, Withers, and Young. Authorizes Metro government to accept sanitary sewer manholes for 2 properties located at 1919 and 1928 9th Avenue North, also known as the Clay Street Commons. Item number 7, Ordinance BL, I think that is also a typo, 2022-1391. The sponsors are Councilmembers Rutherford, Withers, and Young. Authorizes Metro government to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains for height and assembly, sanitary sewer manholes and easements for property located at Old Hickory Boulevard Unnumbered, also known as Evergreen Hills Phase 2A. Item number 8, Ordinance BL 2022-1392. The sponsors are Council Members O'Connell, Withers, and Young. Authorizes Metro government to accept new sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 1018B Jefferson Street, also known as Jefferson Street Townhomes. Item number 9, Ordinance BL 2022-1393. The sponsors are Council Members Sledge, Withers, and Young. Authorizes Metro government to accept new sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manhole for 2 properties located at 414 and 416 Mallory Street, also known as Mallory Street townhomes. Moving on to bills on third reading, we will have item number 11, Ordinance Bill 2022-1304. The sponsor is Councilmember Hauser. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by amending a specific plan for property located at 505 Old Hickory Boulevard, approximately 580 feet north of Ridge Lake Parkway, zoned SP, to add vehicular rental leasing as a permitted use and to limit the use to 4 vehicles. Item number 12, Ordinance Bill 2022-1307. We have the substitute before us. The sponsors are Councilmembers Lee and Murphy. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from AR2A to SP zoning for properties located at 4395 and 4421 Maxwell Road and Maxwell Road unnumbered. Item number 13, Ordinance Bill 2022-1357 as amended. The sponsor is Councilmember Taylor. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by applying a contextual overlay district to various properties located north of Buchanan Street. Item number 14, Bill 2022-1358 as amended. The sponsor is Councilmember O'Connell. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from MUIA to SP zoning for property located at 1711 Broadway to permit a mixed-use development. Item number 15, Ordinance Bill 2022-1359, which is the companion bill for the same property for materials restrictions. Item number 16, Ordinance Bill 2022-1360 as amended. The sponsor is Councilmember Toombs. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from SCN to SP zoning for properties located at Ashland City Highway unnumbered and Clarksville Pike unnumbered, located within the planned unit development overlay and corridor design overlay districts to permit a mixed-use development. Item number 17, Ordinance Bill 2022-1361 as amended, which is for the same property. The sponsor is Councilmember Toombs. It cancels the PUD on that property. And then, what else? Item number 18, Bill 2022-1362 as amended by Councilmember Toombs, also cancels a portion of the PUD for that same area. Item number 19, Ordinance Bill 2022-1363 as amended. The sponsors are Councilmembers Pulley and Johnston. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from OR20 to SP zoning on property located at 2021 Questmore Road to permit a mixed-use development. Item number 20, Ordinance Bill 2022-1364. The sponsors are Councilmembers Pulley and Johnston. Applies to the same property and applies materials restrictions. Item number 21, Ordinance Bill 2022-1365. I'm the sponsor of that one. This applies materials restrictions for property located at 501 and 505 Crutcher Street, which is a little bit further down on our agenda. Item number 22, Bill 2022-1366 as amended. The sponsor is Councilmember Hall. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from CL to MUNANS zoning for property located at 3517 Old Clarksville Pike. Item number 23, Ordinance Bill 2022-1367 as amended. The sponsor is Councilmember Benedict. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from CS to RM20A zoning for property located at 846 East Meade Avenue. Item number 24, Ordinance Bill 2022-1368 as amended. The sponsor is Councilmember Van Rees. Amends the Metro Zoning Code by changing from R10 to OR20 zoning on a portion of property located at 3441 Dickerson Pike. Item number 25, Ordinance Bill 2022-1370. The sponsors are Councilmembers Lee and Murphy. This is also for the 4395 and 4421 Maxwell Road properties, and it applies materials restrictions to it. I believe that is all of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion from Vice Chair Rutherford?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. So we have moved the consent calendar, so now we will go to items that do require discussion. As I mentioned previously, item number 2, we have a letter to withdrawal. I think that we'll just let the sponsor withdraw that on the floor. The next one is item number 3, which is BL 2022-1382. The sponsor is Councilmember Syracuse. This amends Metro Code section regarding the abatement of property taxes for certain improvements or restorations made to historic properties as authorized under the provisions of Tennessee Code annotated section 67-5-218. We do not have the sponsor here. However, I would like to, could I get a motion to go ahead and move it? Okay, so we have a motion from Councilmember Bradford. Is there a second? Is there a second for the historic property tax abatement? Thank you. And then would someone move the amendment as well? Okay, so Councilmember Bradford has moved the amendment. Is it okay if I go to legal counsel to describe the amendment? Go ahead.
Oh, hi. The amendment does a few things. One, it changes the damaged property allowance to just restrict it to the properties that were affected by the Christmas Day bombing. And it increases that amount to $40 million of improvement value. The amendment also requires annual reporting from the Historic Zoning Commission as to the properties that are receiving the abatements and the values of those abatements and the values of the improvements.
Thank you. Is there any other questions or discussions on the amendment? Hearing none, we've got it moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? We're now on the, great. So we've added the amendment. We're now on the bill as amended, which is also moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. I know Councilmember Syracuse has worked very hard on that. We'll appreciate the support of the committee. The next one that I have for discussion is item number 10, which is Ordinance Bill 2022-1270. The sponsors are Council Members Pulley, Johnston, and Van Rees. This amends the Metro zoning code pertaining to the calculation of required street setbacks for residential areas with an established development pattern. For this one, I'll go ahead and recognize, first of all, could I get a member to move the bill and the amendment that's been moved by Councilmember Bradford? I'll go ahead and call on Councilmember Pulley to describe this one for us. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate that. I'll just go through succinctly as I can how we came to the point of filing this bill. This bill, in its original form in 2014, established a contextual line for setbacks in certain neighborhoods. The bill was filed by Councilman Holloman at the time. In addition to establishing the contextual line, however, there was an exception written into the bill which stated that you had to meet the contextual setback or 3 times the minimum setback, which, as an example, in an R10 neighborhood, a minimum setback is 20 feet, so 3 times that would be 60 feet. So what we experienced in my district were a number of conflicts here where developers were able to use the exception, and then it actually created outliers from what was the contextual setback. One of the hardships that was caused from this is it forced neighbors to then apply to the Board of Zoning Appeals to basically appeal what was in fact an outlier from the contextual line of their neighborhood. And incredibly, even though it's written in the bill that the developers or builders do have that option for 3 times the minimum setback, neighbors were winning at the BZA. So I looked at the possibility of filing this legislation. I did not want to do it just because my district had been impacted by this, because obviously this is a countywide legislation. So I spoke with the zoning administrator, and he can't stand it the way it is currently written. I then talked with the original sponsor of the bill, Councilmember Holloman, to get his thoughts on why it was in there, and he doesn't like the exception. He stated that he filed it at the end of his term and basically didn't want to fight with a particular developer over it, so he put that exemption in there. So then I started looking at the effect and talking with some members of the development community and telling them my thoughts about why we should eliminate that exemption, and met with mixed but mostly supportive approvals. So we filed the bill, and then you might remember that when it was on first reading, getting a few emails from the development community about this. So I held another community meeting and deferred the bill, deferred the public hearing on the bill so that I could have that exchange. So we had some stakeholder meetings, and basically what they were fine with removing the 3 times the minimum setback exception. They just were concerned because they bought properties with that exception in mind, that they would lose their right if they didn't get permitted in time. So that led to what some of the provisions in the amendment that we want to move, which gives them a certain amount of time. But once we worked out all of those details, which was pretty easy with them, the vast majority of the stakeholders from the development community were fine with it. So the amendment itself, I know we're on the bill, but the amendment basically makes some very minor adjustments to the language establishing the definition of the contextual setback. It also gives the zoning administrator authority so he could throw out a particular outlier. And one of the big provisions is the ordinance doesn't take effect until October 1st, so that allows those who are in the process of trying to get permitted to do so by then, so that they won't lose the ability to do what they thought they could do when they bought the property. And I'm happy to answer any other questions anybody might have.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Councilmember Pulley, and thank you for working with, doing your research, doing your work with the zoning administrator, and also working with stakeholders to find an acceptable implementation date. Councilmember Van Rees, you're recognized.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Councilmember Pulley and Johnson for bringing this forward. It brought to the attention of a lot of the large lot owners with significant setbacks, particularly in the South Madison area, and further indicates the countywide issue that this solves, and so that's why I added my name to it, and I appreciate it bringing forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other discussion for the, let's see, let me go back to my agenda. So for the amendment, do we have a motion? Moved in second. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, and for the bill as amended, can I get a motion and a second? All right, we moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, we've got that recommended. And I believe that concludes the items that are on our agenda. Is there any other business before the Planning and Zoning Committee for today? Is there anything from the planning table for today? Okay. All right. Well, I will declare our committee meeting to be adjourned. Thank you.